New York City is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. The city is home to some of the most iconic landmarks and is a shopper's paradise with countless stores and boutiques to explore. And of course, no visit to New York City would be complete without experiencing the vibrant nightlife. Whether you're looking for a romantic dinner or a night out on the town, New York has something to offer everyone. If you're looking for an unforgettable vacation destination, be sure to add New York City to your list. We'll walk you through 15 must-see attractions in the Big Apple. Here we go. Number 15. Wall Street. Wall Street is a household term, but many have no clue where Wall Street actually is, other than somewhere in New York. The New York Stock Exchange is one of the most ornate and recognizable buildings, sitting at the corner of Wall Street and Broad. The second iconic site on Wall Street is the Charging Bull. This bronze sculpture weighs 7,000 pounds. The nose shines brighter than the rest of the statue, the result of thousands of people posing for pictures and rubbing the nose for good luck. Number 14. Museums. Getting lost wandering one of the dozens of museums in New York City is a wonderful way to explore the human race's rich cultural and scientific history. The Met, Metropolitan Museum of Art, is the largest museum in the United States and holds one of the most extensive art collections in the world. Andy Warhol is synonymous with New York, and his works live alongside other artists like Pablo Picasso at the Museum of Modern Art, MoMA. Even if you aren't a massive fan of art, you'll see well-known works here, which makes it an enjoyable experience for all. Even families with kids will enjoy exploring the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum. Located on Pier 86 along the banks of the Hudson River, the museum is comprised of larger-than-life exhibits like the USS Intrepid, USS Growler, and the Space Shuttle Enterprise. Number 13. Highline. The Highline is a great way to enjoy a free tour on foot. The park is just under 1.5 miles long and runs through Midtown Manhattan, Chelsea, Greenwich Village, and the Meatpacking District. Using abandoned railroad tracks as the guide through public green space, it's quickly become one of the most popular activities in the city. Each season reveals changes in the landscape, so it's worth repeat visits. Free music and dance performances frequently take place on the Highline, and wandering the path reveals unique New York architecture, food from street vendors during summer months, art installations, and plenty of people watching. Number 12. Fifth Avenue. Fifth Avenue is best known for its epic shopping district spanning several blocks between 49th and 60th Streets. Extravagant brands like Tiffany & Company, Saks Fifth Avenue, Chanel, and more make it one of the most appealing luxury shopping areas on the planet. In addition to the window shopping opportunities, you'll find the fascinating Guggenheim Museum, MoMA, the Met, and the New York Public Library. A few other sites deserve their own spot on the list, which we'll reveal shortly. Number 11. Brooklyn Bridge. Walking across the Brooklyn Bridge is an unforgettable experience. It's a wonderful way to enjoy the New York City skyline and views of the Hudson River. Over the 1.1-mile pedestrian span, you'll catch views of the Statue of Liberty, and taking in the sights at sunrise or sunset will add to the experience as the city lights twinkle against pastel skies. Number 10. Greenwich Village. Central to Greenwich Village is Washington Square Park. It's much smaller than Central Park, but no less loved by locals and visitors alike. At the northern terminus of the park is the Washington Square Arch, built in the late 1800s to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President George Washington's inauguration. And if you're a Friends superfan, you can spy on the apartment building used for outdoor footage. The building is relatively nondescript, but eagle-eyed fans take selfies out front day in and day out. Grab some classic New York-style pizza while on Bleecker Street, an area of New York City that's steeped in history. And as you wander the streets of Greenwich Village, you'll have to stop to enjoy the architectural triumphs. including brick homes and townhouses along Federalist-style buildings like Grove Court. Number 9. Madison Square Garden. Even if you have no plans to attend a sporting or music event at Madison Square Garden, a tour of this impressive building is well worth your time. Tours run daily, staggered at 30-minute intervals unless events interrupt the schedule. You'll walk through hallways adorned with historical photos, get a peek at the impressive beer room, check out the dressing and locker rooms, and see the view from the exclusive press boxes. Performing or playing at Madison Square Garden is a bucket list item and career highlight for anyone, including Elton John, Beyoncé, Frank Sinatra, and more. The event space is on the smaller side, accommodating just over 20,000 spectators per event. Number 8. Rockefeller Center. Winter might be one of the most recognizable images of the Rockefeller Center. Located in the heart of Manhattan, it's center stage for the annual Christmas tree, which will top 80 feet this year. You can also go ice skating at the rink, where films like Elf and Home Alone 2: Lost in New York filmed iconic scenes. The top of the rock is one of the most popular tourist experiences as it offers unparalleled 360-degree views of the city. If you have kids in tow, the New York Lego store provides plenty of building blocks to purchase, and on-site experts can offer tips and tricks to try at home. No visit is complete without seeing a show at Radio City Music Hall. The world-famous Radio City Rockettes perform annually, as well as live performances from artists throughout the year. Number 7. Central Park. Just about everyone who has heard of New York will at least be familiar with Central Park. Not to be confused with Central Perk, the coffee shop frequented by the Friends crew. Central Park spans 2.5 miles and is about a half-mile wide. Walking the park from top to bottom will take about an hour of your time, assuming you don't get waylaid exploring a secluded spot or watching an intense game of chess. Some of the hidden treasures of Central Park include the Victorian-style cottage called The Dairy, Gapstow Bridge, which crosses the pond, and the handsome statue of the famous sled dog Balto. The mall is a lovely walk, particularly in the fall when the American elm trees that flank the walkway turn a gorgeous deep yellow and cover the entire pathway. Fountains, waterways, grassy knolls, statues, and buildings litter the area, and they're sure to be a new discovery with every visit. Number 6. Grand Central Terminal. It might seem odd that a train station is one of the most visited attractions in the Big Apple, but it's not surprising when you first step into this historic building. Over 750,000 people pass through the station daily, using it as a central transportation hub. There are a staggering 67 tracks that support this traffic. The main concourse is a prime place for history and architecture. The information booth clock is known as the crown jewel of Grand Central, and the ceiling is decorated with the 12 zodiac constellations. Number 5. Broadway. Broadway is the birthplace of theater in the U.S., with its origins going back to 1750. Must-see hits like Wicked, Phantom of the Opera, and Hamilton all got their start on Broadway. And even if you don't have tickets to a show, wandering the neon-lit street is quintessential New York. There are more than 40 Broadway theaters and even more off-Broadway theaters featuring smaller budget artists and creatives. Part of the fun on Broadway is dressing the part. Getting dolled up for a meal before or after the show and showing up in your best is a fun way to support and show respect for the artists on stage. The Gershwin Theater is the largest in the area and hosts a mix of musicals, concerts, and other entertainment shows. Number 4. Times Square. Times Square is one of the heartbeats of New York. Always a source of the hustle and bustle, a stroll through the streets here will have visitors craning their necks to see all the bright billboard advertisements on skyscrapers and constantly keeping an eye out for fellow pedestrians. Aside from the iconic but frigid New Year's Eve celebration with the annual ball drop, you can attend live tapings for late-night shows, experience 3 floors dedicated to chocolate at M&M World, and even stay in Times Square overnight at the famous Knickerbocker Hotel. You're sure to have an international experience as you walk with people from all over the world, all clamoring to be part of the never-ending action in this hub of activity. Number 3. 9/11 Memorial. One of the more somber experiences in New York is no less important than the other attractions on our list. The deadly attacks on 9/11 will remain indelible on everyone's minds, especially those who live in New York or have family or friends who lost their lives. The primary memorial is a beautiful fountain located at the site of the former World Trade Center complex and takes up about 8 acres of space. Twin pools each cover approximately 1 acre and create the largest human-made waterfalls on the continent. A museum completes the memorial, situated at the bedrock of the complex, several stories below the memorial. Visitors learn about the history of the event and the history of the Twin Towers that were viciously destroyed. Number 2. Empire State Building. Movies like King Kong and Sleepless in Seattle put the Empire State Building on the Hollywood map of fame. But tourists have been visiting this 102-story Art Deco skyscraper since its completion in 1931. Views from the top are amazing, but there's more to see than just the panoramic views. Multiple observation decks at various heights control the crowds a bit, and exhibits focusing on building history, film moments, and celebrity sightings offer extra insights. Of course, there are plenty of shopping and dining opportunities as well, so you can take care of all your tourist needs in one stop. Number 1. Statue of Liberty. A gift from our allies in France, the Statue of Liberty is an enduring symbol of freedom, democracy, and hope for immigrants coming into New York Harbor. A ferry ride deposits you at the Statue of Liberty National Monument, where a museum details the statue's unique history. With a ticket, you can enter the pedestal on which Lady Liberty sits. And for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic ran rampant across the globe, the crown on the Statue of Liberty is welcoming visitors back. Get your tickets well in advance, as this is always the crowning attraction. Pun intended. Nearby Ellis Island is also worth a visit, particularly for those interested in genealogy. More than 12 million immigrants pass through Ellis Island on their way to America. And that's a wrap on New York. Do you agree with our list? Did we miss your favorite part of the city? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, let us know by hitting the like button before you leave. And if you'd like to see more detailed travel guides like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so you're always the first to know when a video drops. Until next time, happy travels!